Welcome back to On the Rise, the latest Canadian men's national team news. And there has been a huge rumor around Junior Hoilett today, a huge player around the national team with his experience, his skill, and leadership, who still has a big part to play in the national team, in my opinion. Looks like he will be reuniting with his former manager in Neil Warnock. This is very exciting as there has been lots of rumors around Junior Hoilett, around the MLS, and a lot of clubs taking interest in Junior Hoilett. But it looks like he will be staying in England, reuniting with Neil Warnock at Huddersfield Town, as this is a huge move to stay back in the championship, another Canadian playing in England, and it keeps on building our reputation within the English football pyramid. It's very exciting, and this would be a great move for Junior Hoilett. And this all broke earlier today from Darren Whitcoop, as he did say this, quote, "First reported Huddersfield Town interest in Junior Hoilett in June. Now finally the Canadian winger is expected to reunite with Neil Warnock." Hoilett, who received strong interest from the MLS since leaving Reading, believed to be training with the Terriers in view of signing a deal. And for me, this is very exciting to see Junior Hoilett sticking around in England, staying with Huddersfield Town. You even see in his comments a couple of people saying things you love to see. This is a great move for the likes of Huddersfield Town. And it's just a good move for the likes of Junior Hoilett to keep staying in England, to be playing in the championship. It's one of the best leagues in world football, the best second division in world football. And for me, he still has a big part to play within the national team. Yes, he's aging, but his leadership and, of course, his talent is still there. That is why he is playing in the championship. There's a reason he's still playing in one of the world's best leagues. And if you look at our winger depth right now, the likes of Liam Millar, the likes of Theo Corbinu, likes of potentially Luka Kolyosho. We have so much young talent breaking out through there that Junior Hoilett, even in the national team camps, if we do have camps, who knows at this rate, is going to be there to help progress Theo Corbinu, to help him with that leadership experience, to bring him through in camps, and to keep teaching these young Canadian players, even not just the wingers. He can help the whole squad. And he's still a huge part to play with in the side, and he can, of course, play as a number 10 as well. Even looking at Jaden Nelson, he can learn so much from the likes of Junior Hoilett. And his talent and his skill is showing. The fact that he's still with a championship club, yes, albeit it's Huddersfield Town, it's still with a classic and good manager, Neil Warnock. It's very exciting to see Junior Hoilett sticking around, playing at the top level. For me, seeing him a free agent for so long was very hard to see because you need him earlier on in the season. You need him integrated into the side, playing preseason with his new club. He didn't get that. But now being into a championship side, the longer I saw him sitting out as a free agent, the more worried I became, as he could have ended up with an MLS club. He could have even fallen down the pecking order. But the fact that he's finding himself back in a championship side is absolutely massive. And it's a side that is where he's reuniting with Neil Warnock. It's a manager that's going to back him, where he's probably going to play consistent football still at his age, which is absolutely brilliant for Junior Hoilett. So let me know what you guys think down below about Junior Hoilett's transfer. Of course, he hasn't officially signed that deal, which I will break it and have a done deal video on that when it does happen. But it's going to be a very interesting time to see how you guys think about Junior Hoilett sticking around in the championship at Huddersfield Town instead of coming to TFC, Montreal, CF Montreal. I can understand how some people want to see him in the MLS, but truly for me, I don't want our players in the MLS. I want them playing abroad, and this is a very exciting move for Junior Hoilett. But looking at the players that we had in action today, guys, only 2 of them prevailed with victories out of a handful of Canadian players who were all in action, whether that was in Scotland, Sweden, or even England. There was nothing very exciting going on besides IFK Varnamo in Marco Bustos, whose side won 3-0 and also contributed with a goal. Marco Bustos had a phenomenal performance, going 61 minutes and getting himself a goal for IFK Varnamo, having a 7.6 match rating with 61 minutes played, and having an 86% accurate passing rating is absolutely brilliant for a player who's always looking to play the ball forward and is having that final third mentality instead of looking to play that ball back constantly. He wasn't on the ball too much this game, only having 20 touches, but also with those 20 touches, making 4 passes into the final third. So like I said, having that 86% passing accuracy is absolutely brilliant for an attacking-minded winger or attacking midfielder. Also, defensively, having a clearance, a headed clearance, and 2 recoveries is absolutely excellent for Marco Bustos. And this is very intriguing. This game we saw Marco Bustos line up as a right winger on the right hand side for IFK Varnamo. Last match for IFK, he lined up as a central midfielder, more so as a number 10 or box-to-box creating midfielder. And for me, I said in that video, that's the best position I think for Marco Bustos. Whether it's the club level, whether it's to try and push national team level, that's by far his best position. I talked about this with Canon T Bible a little bit, talking about this back and forth. And for me, I think Marco Bustos, if he sees himself somehow breaking into the national team or moving on from Varnamo, I think he's got to progress as a number 10. You look at the Canadian men's national team player pool, what do we have at 10? We really extremely lack a out-and-out number 10. Yes, Jaden Nelson can play as a 10. Yes, Junior Hoilett can play as a 10. Yes, Jonathan Osorio can play as a 10. But you have there 2 primary wingers and a primary box-to-box midfielder there. None of them are out-and-out number 10s. We don't have a true out-and-out number 10 in the Canadian men's national team player pool, in my true opinion. That's why I was so desperate to see us get Mitrovic, and that never progressed. So for me, Marco Bustos is the only number 10 for me who can be an out-and-out number 10, who's constantly looking to play the ball forward and make those creative balls through the final third and to move the ball and progress the ball forward. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Marco Bustos continues on that right wing, that right flank for Varnamo. But it's going to be a huge point of contention, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say if Marco Bustos is the only 10, if I'm forgetting someone, if you guys think he could potentially get in the national team in the near future, because I'd love to hear what you guys have to think of Marco Bustos, even though he did nab a goal in a 3-0 victory for IFK Varnamo today. But there's also an exciting performance today. I, of course, wasn't able to watch it. It was in the National League, and it was Bromley's new striker in Erbil Peppel. Peppel came on within 14 minutes due to an injury to Sal Kader for Bromley. And, of course, you can't see any stats in the National League, so I'm not sure how good he did. But, of course, he did just transfer to the club yesterday morning. So to get a performance and thrown in straight away, it's a huge ask for a young 20-year-old striker in Erbil Peppel, especially just joining the side, not knowing much about the team. And then in the 20th minute, they saw that Bromley get a red card, but they didn't concede, they didn't score, ending 0-0. And Erbil Peppel did get subbed out in the 85th minute. I know that could be concerning to some fans, but especially when he came in the 14th minute and subbed out in the 85th, he just got to the squad. Yes, you can say he's fit, but you got to look at it this way. He's a 20-year-old player. He's coming to a new squad. It's a physical, rough league in the National League, and the fact that he got thrown in the 14th minute is already more than he probably expected. So I'm not surprised that he did come out. His fitness levels probably aren't where it exactly might need to be. Playing the National League is a huge ask, especially for his first match, getting thrown in the 14th minute. So there's nothing to worry about seeing him get subbed out in the 85th. It's going to be extremely exciting to see how Erbil Peppel can do and continue his form and hopefully progress with Bromley in the National League. But looking to Portugal, there was a Canadian in action but didn't take to the field in Steven Vitória, as his side lost 4-2 to SC Braga and Chaves fell massively. They did have the league at one point, having a 2-1 lead, and did concede a red card to their center back, Igor. But for me, I was confused why Steven Vitória didn't get subbed on to play in that center back role. I wasn't able to watch this match, but seeing a red card, the team already up 2-1, I was surprised you wouldn't bring on a physical, strong body who's great in the air in Steven Vitória. So that was very surprising to me, why I didn't see Steven Vitória come on, especially when conceding a red card to a centre half. So that'll be a point of contention. Is Steven Vitória on the fringes there? I'm not sure. I think he'll be sticking around in Chaves. It'll be very exciting to see if something happens with him later on in the window, because I'd love to see him move on and get first team football somewhere and continue consistently playing. But if they're managing his body, managing his age, managing his play time, I completely understand that as well. But Steven Vitória not featuring for Chaves today in their 4-2 loss to SC Braga. And moving on to another disappointing performance, where Cardiff fell to Leicester City 2-1. And that's not disappointing. We're not looking at the result here. We're looking at Ike Ugbo, who went 46 minutes and having a 5.7 match rating. I still have to go back and watch this entire of this match. But I know you can say stats don't show the full picture, but looking at one stat, it's about chances you create for your number 9. He had no chances all match. He had one total shot, and he only touched the ball 18 times. Yes, he was dispossessed 3 times, but the fact that Ike Ugbo was only able to get 18 touches on the ball the entire match through 46 minutes isn't down to his fault that he had such a poor game. It's down to the fact that the likes of Bowler, Ramsey, O'Dowda weren't able to create for their number 9. And that's what happened to him at Troyes. There's no chances created, so Ike Ugbo wasn't able to shine. Ike Ugbo has had a couple of impressive performances before this, so if he's not getting any touches, maybe Cardiff wanted to try a different look out on the pitch. They wanted to try somebody else out there, so that's why they brought out Yaku Mete to try and have a different outlook, to try and create something different, but even Mete only finished the match on 18 touches. So don't be scared that, or look at the stats and say Ike Ugbo was pulled after 46 minutes and having a 5.7 match rating. It's not all down to stats. When you got nothing created for you, you got nothing going on in the final third, your striker literally has nothing on him and nothing going on. And that is fair, so you can't criticize Ike Ugbo in this kind of a situation. It's just something that happens, a lack of creativity, and that you can see put on the striker doesn't look good for him in this kind of a situation, as Cardiff did fall 2-1 to Leicester City at the King Power. But also moving on into England with another loss, as Stoke City managed a 1-0 victory over Ismael Kone's Watford. Ismael Kone was available from the bench today as he came on in the 46th minute, finishing the match on a 6.2 match rating and a 1 yellow card. The 21-year-old Canadian is having a up and down season, not starting any matches, coming off always available off the bench compared to last season where he was on and off starting for Watford. And also once he came on, once he got that yellow card, you even saw on Twitter a couple Watford fans asking, what does he even bring? He's not a good enough player. I want to see Ismael Kone grab the game by the scruff of his neck and show us what he shows with Canada for Watford. I know it's a huge ask, but I think he has the talent. That's why he made that transfer. We saw people criticizing him, Watford fans. I didn't see his match. I don't know how he's played for Watford this year. Looking at stats, 92% passing accuracy, creating a chance, 1 pass in the final third, taking a corner with 4 recoveries and 2 fouls won. It doesn't look like a poor game on paper, but when you're in the match in the 46th minute, they might be asking him to play a role he's not too suited to. They might be telling him to push the ball forward as a number 10 or move the ball a bit higher up the pitch, which we know Ismael Kone is more of a box-to-box. Maybe that he's not playing in his correct role. That could be the issue. I'm not 100% certain here, but I'm very interested to see why he's getting so much flack towards him. If you guys know, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments and what you guys think of Ismael Kone on the bench so much for Watford Football Club as they have fallen 1-0 to Stoke City. Also moving on quickly here, guys, we had a dual national performance from Owen Goodman. Another decent performance from the goalkeeper, having a 6.9 match rating, which is very impressive as his side did manage a 3-2 loss to Milton Keynes Dons. As neither side was really the favorite in this game, it was expected to be more than likely a draw, but this game finished 3-2 to the likes of Colchester after they had a 2-1 lead in the 13th minute. As then they did fall in the 88th and the 90 plus 10 minutes and giving up 2 late goals. Very unfortunate for Owen Goodman. He's looking like a very good goalkeeper when I have seen him play recently, and he keeps on impressing even if he is taking losses, if he is even taking so many shots per the match. He's looking very exciting. Owen Goodman is another dual national we got to keep an eye on, and another player we can't have a Luka Kolyosho situation with. Owen Goodman's been very exciting. Whenever we've seen him against Cardiff or past couple of weeks, even if it's been a loss, he's managed to still finish games on 8 match ratings, 7 match ratings, and very high performances for even a very poor loss and match for his club. So Owen Goodman is showing a lot of prospect at such a young age for a dual national goalkeeper and is a player for Canadians to keep an eye on. But also another player who didn't feature today, which is not surprising for myself, happened in a 2-0 loss, and Birmingham defeated Bristol City as Jamie Knight-Labelle was on the bench once again. We're going to quickly talk about him here, guys. I've talked about this previously. He looks like he's cemented himself in the first team. Not saying he's going to be starting anytime soon, not saying he's going to get regular minutes, but cemented himself in the first team. It's a huge step up from the under-19s, the under-23s. Getting a chance to be involved in training with the first team on a consistent level is massive. Being in that championship atmosphere with the first team on a consistent level is also massive. So he's getting so many life lessons, so many footballing lessons for his career. He's moving himself forward in his footballing development so much by just being involved in the first team, even if it's on the bench. Yes, it'd be nice to see him start somewhere, but just being involved with a side like Bristol City is a huge step up for Jamie Knight-Labelle. Yes, he's not getting minutes. Yes, he's not getting regular football time. But for me, he is a player that the men's national team needs to try and capture and get convinced to join our side. Even though we're in an absolute horrendous state, Jamie Knight-Labelle is a player that Canamity needs to lock up. And two more performances we're going to wrap up is Theo Bair. Theo Bair starting the match for Motherwell in the Cup against St. Mirren, where they managed a 1-0 defeat as he got subbed off in the 67th minute. And of course, there's no stats for these games. There's nothing hugely to talk about here, but it's very unfortunate to see them follow the Scottish Cup. But one thing I find very interesting here is Ross County, who managed to win in extra time for Victor Laturi in a 4-3 victory. And this is a huge win for Victor Laturi's side. But one thing I'm getting I wouldn't say extremely pissed off about, very annoyed by, is Victor Laturi managed only 58 minutes again. Didn't go the full 90, nowhere near it, coming off with 30 minutes left in this match, and it going into extra time. I understand maybe it's due to a yellow card, as he did come off having a booking, as well as his midfield partner in Sims, both coming off with booking. So it could have been down to having a booking, but recently we have seen his manager hasn't given him the reins to go a full 90 minutes. So that is more so what I think it might be. And it's really, if that continues, it's going to get extremely annoying for a lot of Canadian supporters. Because Victor Laturi proved last year, once again, that he is by far the best player and should be playing for a higher side and consistently has been at a top level. So let me know what you guys think down below about all the performances and Junior Hoilett joining Huddersfield Town. And of course, what you guys think of the consistent daily uploads around all the latest around Canamity news during the day. Guys, hit that like button, drop a sub, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.